Uh, Once again, hello people. It is Ultra Comedic TV coming at you live from my home. Today's topic I want to discuss is in the black community, bad parenting. Because there's a lot of bad parents out there that don't know what the fuck they doing and have no idea how they're affecting their children's lives and how they're fucking them up. God, honestly, I don't want to put down anybody's parenting skills. I know that they're good black parents. I know that they're good black mothers, and I know that they're good black fathers. But I think that there is an overabundance of a lot of black mothers out there. And, you could say a lot of missing dads or deadbeat dads or part-time dads, but it's actually much more worse now these days when it comes to black women as single parents. Like, when I really break down the paradigm of why I think a lot of black parents are shitty parents, because that's just from my personal experience and just seeing it for myself. A lot of parents have very bad parenting because basically it's more so of a generational thing, a family tree thing. If you like, I hate to say this, your mom, if someone's mom was a harlot or a Jezebel or a skank and, had multiple kids by different men and kept bringing different men around their daughters and their sons are not going to learn to have a respect for women, and their daughters are going to end up, hopefully, if they're not, if they're conscious enough, they won't, but they're going to end up, being the same way that their mom was, loose and promiscuous. Who knows? She may end up being an escort or a fucking in an adult industry. A lot of black parents have a tendency to talk down to their children, to mistreat their children, to overly abuse their children. It's one thing to spank a child or hit a child, but a lot of parents go fucking overboard. A lot of parents beat the shit out their children. I remember one scenario, I don't remember when I was, I guess I was 10 or 11. My mom beat the shit out of me for an hour and 30 minutes straight. Now, if that isn't abuse, I don't know what the fuck is. How can you beat someone for an hour and 30 minutes straight? And with, a hanger. A lot of black parents, they don't teach their kids shit. In order for you to be a successful parent, at least in my opinion, I believe, you have to be a role model, a provider, a teacher, a mentor, and, a guardian, of course, but also to a certain degree when the kids get a certain age and they're starting to mature and develop, you also have to be, whether you like it or not, and be real with your kids and be their friend. You have to teach your kids shit. Like, you have to be a whole bunch of things to be a parent. Like, a lot of parents, especially black moms, only think, if my son or my daughter just makes it through and, lives out on their own, they fine. Not exactly. If you're not teaching your kids about values, morals, and ethics and the ways of life, then, and trying to, teach them certain things about survival and just the world, relationships, money, love, family, you're just doing that kid a disservice. That kid is always going to slip and bust his fucking face the whole time. His or her face, And a lot of black parents don't really realize that. I really look at them like, what the fuck is wrong with you? That's why you have a lot of dysfunctional ass fucking children out here. You have a lot of dysfunctional ass adults. I saw a clip on World Star, and it was months ago, but these kids had to be no older than, I don't know, I'll say 7 or 8. These are three cute little young black girls. What surprised me, it didn't surprise me, because, young kids curse. Kids, when they get a certain age, they will curse because they pick it up from somewhere. But God, honestly, I was surprised how these three young girls were talking about how they made fun of somebody and how they were gonna fight them and that bitch, she's a bitch and fuck that hoe and I'm like, and there's a grown woman recording this shit and I'm like, I'm not sure if that's the parent. I don't think it would be, but it wouldn't surprise me. But I'm like, you're an adult. You're supposed to put these kids in line. They're not supposed to look at you like, you know, they're your equal. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to correct them on what they're doing and show them that that's wrong. But, you're egging on this activity. And I'm like, and I'm listening to this black woman talk in the back and egg these little young girls on. I'm like, if you're an aunt or a mother or whatever type of status you are, that's not good to have those little girls cursing and carrying on that way. And I'm like, what type of fucked up shit is this? You know, I understand a lot of black women can't do it on their own, but I think a lot of black women underestimate the role and the value of a male in the home and how successful or how well children can be brought up when two parents are in the home. There's more of a stable base. There's more examples. There's two people teaching them different things about life, two different aspects. And I don't think black women realize that. They think that they can raise, women on their own. To a certain degree, they can, but they cannot raise men on their own. They can't. There's no fucking possible way in hell. There's no way in hell you can raise a man on their own. It is what it is. So I look at these people and I'm like, a lot of people I think shouldn't be parents. Like a lot of people, if you're not ready to have a kid, you should have been using contraception or get a fucking abortion. Even though I'm not really down with abortion, is not my choice or decision or hearsay to let people know what's the right thing to do. That's their body. They have free will. But on another level, you shouldn't, if you're not ready for children, give it up for adoption. Give it up for abortion. You should have been using contraception, because you're doing the children a disservice, especially especially those who have these children and pawn them off on their fucking grandparents. Their grandparents did their job already. This is your turn to raise your generation of children. Stop, I've seen people do that, pawn their kids off on their grandparents and go out and do all types of fuckery and insanity. And I'm like, that's not good parenting. Fucking kids, parents smoking weed around their kids, or with the kids or even with the kids in the next room, bad parenting. Talking down to your children, lowering their self-esteem, bad parenting. Bringing different, companions around the house of the opposite sex, bad parenting. Like you should be really an example of what your child wants to be, and I think a lot of black men and especially women really fail at that. A lot of people look up to their mom and see them in an awesome light, and I have respect for black women, especially single mothers who don't have the help. But in another aspect, when you really take away that dynamic and you really actually sit back and look at the person, you have to see how kind of fucked up they are. Some of them, because some of these single mothers are fucked up. Some of these single mothers are having these children out of spite and just to get, benefits or child support. They don't really love their kids. It was just something out of spite. And a lot of these bitches end up being bad mothers. A lot of people, men and black men and women especially, think that as long as I can provide for my kids and give my kids money, and they have all the shit that they need, I did my job. Nah, nigga, you ain't do your job. A child support check is not going to replace the presence and, the role of a father. Spoiling the shit out your child is not, especially as a mother spoiling the shit out your child and coddling your child is not going to make up for, all the dumb shit that you need to be teaching your kids. And another thing I notice about black people, which is very terrible, but I just call it the way it is, a lot of black parents don't teach their children about money. Like, they don't teach them the concept of, saving and saving and investing, which to me is two of the most important things when you coming with dealing with money. A lot of black people, men and women, I can't really say for everybody, they live check to check and get by. And part of that is because a lot of people are not good with money and weren't taught how to be good with money. A lot of people don't know what a want and a need is. Until they separate that a want from a need, you know what I'm saying? You may want those new pair of Jordans, but you need your fucking cell phone paid. Until people can separate the two necessities, or separate the necessity from the want, we're gonna have a lot of problems. I knew somebody recently, and this was someone I was dating. If you're watching this, you a funky ass bitch. You know who I'm talking about, you fat bitch. I knew this bitch that I was dating, right? Her mom comes in town, right? She knows her kid is supposed to be in school, the next week. She goes out, spends all her money on handbags, glasses, taking her mom out, and, drinking and dining, with her mom and going out with her friend, and doesn't pay attention to her child's needs. She lets her child go without school necessities. And this bitch has the nerve to come back to me and, oh, I forgot about my kid's school necessities. I'm thinking in the back of my mind, what an irresponsible bitch. You are so irresponsible. Now I see why you have 4 kids by 3 different men. You know what I'm saying? You have bad parenting skills. This is the same woman that bad parenting skills. Like, I'm gonna give an example. First met the bitch, had all of her 4 kids in the house, don't really know them that well, went to her room, fucked her after 3 weeks. You know what I'm saying? With her kids in the next room and in the living room. Wham, 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 wham. Same dumb bitch gets high in the next room. And I'm looking at her like, all right, don't you think it's kind of improper for you to get high with your 10-year-old, your 15, your 16, and your 19-year-old in the next room? They're not stupid. They're not babies. They know what's going on. They're reaching adulthood. They are a lot smarter than you know. Oh, no, we'll be fine, and da-da-da-da-da, and da-da-da-da-da, this and that. So we're smoking in the bathroom, and and that makes me feel bad now that I think about it, because that's something I wouldn't condone, but you know what, that's a fault of mine, and I take that as a responsibility in that part of that action. We're smoking in the bathroom. Her teenage daughter, doom 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 doom. Mom, are you smoking weed? Dumb bitch is high as fuck. No, I'm not smoking weed. It's incense. It's incense. And I'm looking at this shit like, I told this bitch, before we even wanted to smoke weed, like, don't you think it would be a good idea that we would go outside, go to a car, go to the park, in your apartment complex? And then got the nerve to lie about it and look stoned as fuck. I'm like, bad parenting. Bad fucking parenting. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are not meant to be parents, and this was a particular one. Her dad, her father, had 15 children by 7 or 8 different men, and her mother had about 2 or 3 by 2 different men. Actually, no, 3 children by 4. No, 4 children by 3 different men. So I'm like, you know what? That's when I really thought, like, you know what? The cycle continues. Your fucking youngest daughter, who's the bastard of the group, who doesn't have a father, she's gonna most resemble you, because she doesn't have a male figure in the home. She's constantly around different niggas, and you're not a good example, and she looks up to you. So that's what she's gonna emulate, especially if she's not intelligent. So I don't even a lot of women are just not meant to be parents. A lot of niggas ain't meant to be parents, especially niggas who come from single parent homes or dysfunctional fucking family structures. Um, that's all I gotta say, man. If you like my video, hit the thumbs up. Leave your comments, your thoughts, your ideas. There's nothing more on this rant. This is Ultra Comedic TV. Until next time, peace and love.